Good evening, welcome back to Sports Desk. On the ball. Along with me, I've brought in the main man, Carl Catlett, who is here fighting for the mic, as usual. I think he's going to be mixed up with Steve Fowler. And of course, now we want to welcome the Vice President of the Cricket Association, Mr. Ivor Blackman. Good evening, Ivor. Great to have you along.
Ivor Fraser.
Ivor Fraser. Okay, well, this is not Ivor Blackman. Over to you now.
Don't forget, we're live on JTV, and our number is to call Paul.
Yes,
300-1950,
or you could text 300-1950. And before you go on to that point, stick a pin. We had a text coming in the first segment. I want to say thank you to the person sent in the text. Celia isn't here, but I'm sure she'll get the message of all those who are listening. It was specifically to Celia. Said, good night, one and all. Keep the good work. Special good night to Celia. And it's great to see you involved in this huge project, and I hope that the Lord will continue to bless you and love you and love to one and all. So thank you very much for sending the text. We appreciated it. They were only here for one segment. They had other things to do, but it was great, the BMSA, and thanks for sending the text. Back over to you now.
Now, just before we go into Mr. Fraser right here, I just want to give some updates. Cleon Penn, our center, Cleon Penn, BVI national team center, Cleon Penn, is out of play. He broke his foot, so he's out of play for the season. He should be back hopefully by the time we get ready for him. I just want to send a shout out to Cleon, big time Cleon. We have Chino, who's still out there in France. He's still out there playing ball. The young guys that are from high school age, we have Jason, who's out in Mexico. He's part of us, passed through us. Jason Edwin passed through us. We have Deon Edwin, which is Jason's brother. We have Deon, Norville, Ravon, Shaquille, and Ryan. Those guys out in Delaware, we want to send a shout out to them. They're still doing very good. You know, the twin girls, Cowboy girls from down in King Garden Bay, they're playing basketball also. They're in Central Arizona Community College, doing very well, getting ready to transfer to university. We have Ashley Kelly, who's in Illinois, Chantel, who's in Texas, Karine and her crew, Brittany Watney, who's in Maryland. We had Omar Jones, who just came back home. He's back home for a minute before he head back out to Texas. We also have those guys in basketball, young guys. We have Kelvin, who's in Oklahoma. We have Squeegee, who's in Sac Valley, Chicago. Biza, who's in Missouri State. We have Lemanuel, who's in Mobley area. And we have Ray Victor and JR, who's in Florida. Just a big shout out to let you guys know that there's athletes all over the place. And like I said, we just want to acknowledge them and give them a big shout out. If you guys have, if you know of any more of the athletes that I missed, just hit us up. We can be reached at any time. Paul, the ball is around. Myself is around. All we want to do is acknowledge our young folks that's out there. We want to let them know that we care about them. We want to know what they're doing, and we'll be covering them. Paul, back to you.
Oh, thank you very much, my main man, Mrs. Catlett. Well, of course, we're here to talk cricket this evening, and there's, it's a hot topic for the simple reason that cricket has been. I remember my dad playing cricket back in 1966 with A.O. Shirley and Carl Dawson and Ralph O'Neill and Mr. Braithwaite, and I could name them all. And of course, now recently, there isn't a home for cricket anymore. We have the Vice President, Mr. Ivor Fraser. Get it right? He's Fraser, not Blackman. Ivor, cricket, no home. What's the story?
Well, I can't say there's no home. It's just not an efficient and effective home for cricket in the BVI.
Right.
Primarily, we have played cricket in Greenland 2 years ago, which really was a big spark in the BVI, the Digicel sponsors program, and it really had seemed that cricket would have got off and really went booming. Unfortunately, the field itself wasn't.
It was taken away from you guys. Uprooted, so to speak.
In terms, the government had some proposal in fixing the field and making a better field for cricket. However, that did not materialize. In 2010, we did play a program in Virgin Gorda, which was not well supported, but because of cricket and the love of cricket, we wanted cricket to play in the BVI.
Right. We have some footage here of the way that the Greenland looks right now, and I'm hoping that that our producer back there will be able to show it. the condition of that field there is actually, they've actually put a pole in the ground in a position where actually cricket it affects the boundary of the cricket. It can't within apparently that pole is put in there afterwards, and the grounds look as if it's going to need a lot of work now before anything can be used again.
But Paul, that ground actually looks like it's a harvest for animals now. It's a grass piece.
It looks a little worse than that, because animals wouldn't even want to graze on that presently. You know, and going back to what Ivor Fraser said here, I mean, 2010, it was 2010.
It was
It was such a. I followed it from in the UK. They apparently they had record turnout at the gate.
I know.
Record turnout at the gate. So how is it possible to go from there to the point where the guys don't have to take a boat every single day or go across the Virgin Gorda, and we're struggling to get large crowds at the game?
But Ivor, are you actually saying that there's no cricket going on in Tortola itself?
No, he didn't say, well, I should let him answer, but he didn't say that.
I'm not saying that there's no cricket going on in Tortola.
Competition cricket, I'm talking.
No competition cricket right now. However, we're proposing to start a league in the first week in March. Which would be run in Tortola. That's again with the promise that and the hope that Greenland, the government.
So we're still going like the Greenland.
Yeah, the government will take the initiative. The government will see the need for cricket in the BVI. Another recreational facility for young men and women in the BVI. And hopefully that some work would be done. The past government did promise, and not being political in any way, the initiative was there for the government to get a feel on and go in. I think some monies were put into it. I don't know where that finance is right now, and I do not.
Well, you've just had an election, right?
Yes, we had an election on Wednesday. Yes,
it was yesterday.
Only yesterday.
So I understood that Sean Mohammed is still your president.
Yeah, Sean Mohammed is still the president.
I've been trying to get Sean to come on this show for a long time now, so I'm gonna have to put him on the spot. Sean, if you're listening, I'm coming back at you. I've been after you for a while. You need to come and explain why you're not coming to the show. But anyway, the vice president is here, so he's taking a slide.
I can truly apologize for him this evening. I think up to 5 o'clock he was ready and willing to come to the show, and then something popped up and he asked me the last minute.
That's fair enough. Yeah. But before we get to the election, Carl, because we're going to get to that in a minute, and remember we're live this evening. You know, the guys all talk about cricket, all the older fellas that know that you're all listening. It's 300-1949 that you can call. If you don't want your voice to be heard, send a text. 300-1950. Your text will be ready immediately as fast as it appears on the screen. We're also trying to work in a minute. We actually you can go onto our chat room and chat with us there as well. So there's numerous ways that you can actually get involved. But you know,
we're live actually on the net.
We're live on the net as well. That's what I'm saying. You can go into our chat room.
Make sure you shout out to your wife this time. No, she calls you up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Scatlin. Yes, he's very friendly. So, no, the question I'm probably going to ask both to you. I mean, I don't think he's on the spot here, because it's a general chat we're having here.
Am I not?
No. Well, here's my question. I'll put it out to you as well, the general public. How is cricket perceived in the BVI as a sport? You know, is it in the top 3, the top 5, and what do young kids think of cricket? Do they think it's something that should be in the BVI, that shouldn't be in the BVI, and why should it or shouldn't it be in the BVI? You know, what is the perception? You know, I know in 1960s, if I asked that question, there was only one answer, but I don't know what it is now.
I think I'll let the vice president go on this one.
I thought you'd want to answer it.
I have an answer to that.
To be fair, the word perception. If cricket is going to move in the BVI, it's going to be advanced in the BVI by any means. It is not the youths. It is the adults who have played cricket to bring cricket back on the forefront by promoting it in such a way. The discipline that you need to see from the elders who have been around cricket. And you mentioned that cricket was very much in the forefront when the Honorable Ralph O'Neill was there. Your father, you mentioned, Mr. Owen, the other Mr. Owen, Mr. Gardas. Why did he die? my thing, yes, basketball and softball and all these games came and wrote. So the demise of cricket is not the new sports that came. It is the persons who were involved did not promote it. So now you have to have an initiative where you will now push kiddies into cricket.
Now, my response to that was, Paul, in case you didn't know.
Sure.
Steve Paul and myself, we spoke to a lot of the different associations.
Sure.
Cricket was one of them. And we tried to implement cricket along with the books program that we have, which is books and basketball. We tried to implement cricket and books. So, go ahead.
Go ahead, make a point. We have a caller online.
We were trying to initiate the same thing. We'd have interest in cricket and books. And to be honest with you, there was a lot of interest in young kids in cricket. So they were coming out. It's just that the follow-up was the hardest thing to deal with.
Okay, we'll take this. Caller, try back again. Sorry, Mrs. Carter was making a point, but if we can already hope we have another caller coming on right now. So before we can make another point, hopefully this call will come back. We're talking cricket. I am Paul the Ball. I'm not, actually not the main man, but I'm in the main man's seat tonight. I am the deputy. Carl Scutliffe is the main man. We're talking cricket this evening. We're trying to find out what's the story behind the cricket. You know, is it or isn't it perceived as a major sport in the BVI? Why isn't it? And then we're also getting into the whole aspect of what is actually happening now, which is why we have the Vice President here. Good evening, Sports Desk. I'm Paul on the Ball along with Carl Scutliffe, and we have Ivor Fraser here with us. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Good night.
How are you all, guys?
Great, thank you. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. I heard you all speaking about cricket. Now, Paul, I have to congratulate you for moving cricket with the youth before you went to England when you were here. But let me tell you the truth, Paul. A lot of people only speak about cricket with the mouth. But same like before the ground gets mashed up, it only used to be the players alone used to be at the ground. It used to be so sad that people make noise about it, but they never used to come and support it. Because I used to be on the field also. You know, only when they had a big match, you see people show up to the game. But when they have the local matches, you don't see much people do the game. But when they keep it at the Eastern ground, you know, it have a group of people like Vinci and so on, have something to do. So they create something that they could have fun in the Sunday time. And I used to big them up for that. And when they used to have the league matches, but the people them stay home. But they don't make noise, say they used to go, but they never used to go. You understand? But let me tell you something. As you said, people discriminate against the cricket here. Who want to get rid of the game? But it is something that I think that they need to pick back the feel of Eastern and get a good feel and bring back the sports that everybody to enjoy. You know, because this kind of thing is like you say, the other people don't have a recreation from outside to play on.
Yes.
You know, and I think that which I hear back on them say they will fix back the field. I think they should make it bigger. And you know, Eastern they had problem where some of the people say well, they don't go with the cricket, this and that. You know, we are a small country and we need to stop this discrimination against, you know, people. Because cricket is an oil man. They see the oil man. Then she come international now, Paul.
Exactly.
That it's on ESPN also. You know, I got to see you. You know, I just listen to you all guys and stop.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm with you.
That's my deputy there now.
I know that.
All right, okay, deputy, thanks for calling.
You know, and again, I watch the show and glad to see you, Paul, keeping it on, see on the hashtag there with the mic. You know, but for reality, man, people need it. The problem here in the BVI, we don't have land space. If we don't have our country, we don't have a nice flat piece of land and fix back cricket. You know, and cricket needs to be in a place where it's round. Because if you check out all of the cricket place, it's like a round area.
Right.
And why do we need to dredge and make land? You know, but I don't listen to y'all, you know, but when you have people talking, some of them will also be down there supporting the local cricket.
Right.
You know, but big up to the people of East End who start to create some fun on the weekend for themselves. And I would like to see that start back. And I would like to see the guy them, East End, Marlon, and Pico. I'll pick back the field for the people and please. And let them enjoy themselves. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, good stuff. All right, well, I mean, I don't think anything for me to say. I think he covered every point there.
No, but what I wanted to say too is, even when I started school, cricket was not one of the very popular sports, like you said, because when we were out there were a lot more people, older folks playing cricket. So the introduction to us, like, you know, come on, learn cricket, wasn't even there. It's only when I got older and understood, well, you know, this is a sport. I tried a little thing with the wind ball cricket, you know, and I didn't really get too far with it because, you know, track was always up our alley.
Yeah, well, we both.
But then what got me more into it is when they started to play the 2020.
Yes.
And money started to get involved. That's when you see a lot of people now gravitate to cricket.
Yes.
And that's when I took time out to learn the game. Because, like I said, I wonder, you know, how a man could be able to play cricket and batting for 2 days and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it sounded like it was boring, you know what I'm saying? But then I saw you again working with the kids, and you taught me a little bit about it. And that's where I really got into cricket. But I think it needs to be youth-oriented. You guys, now you have an association, I think you need to start, because there are youth that's interested. We have a lot of mixed culture people from the Caribbean, and cricket is one of their main sports. And I think it needs to be promoted from those young age, because even when Paul was there was, I mean, youth cricket was a big thing around here.
Okay, I will go into kiddies cricket now, but I just want to support what you're saying there, Carl, and to say that, you know, the vision or the thought process that cricket is not a Tortolan sport is totally wrong.
It is.
It's totally wrong, because cricket is not about Tortola. Cricket is about the Caribbean. Cricket is about a way of life. Cricket is a way of life. We in the BVI are affected by cricket whether we like it or not.
Of course.
Whether you like or hate cricket, you are affected by it.
But you're talking about Tortolan. I mean, if you check the ratio, Paul, there's not much Tortolan compared to non-Tortolans.
We have a caller coming in. Good evening, Sports Desk. Go right ahead. I'm excellent. Touch your radio there for me, please. We're getting a feedback. Oh, your TV. There's a little feedback.
Yeah, Mr. Julian.
Yes, sir.
I get to understand that the DVIC have a new executive now.
That's correct.
I understand Mr. Fraser is the vice president.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Mr. Fraser, explain to us and tell us what's the plan that the DVIC have for cricket in the DVI.
Okay, that's your question?
I want to give Mr. Julian. We already organized something for Mr. Kilodowski. I don't hear nobody talking about this man could done so much for cricket in the DVI. Everybody just coming back against this man or something.
Okay, right. So those are your two questions. We'll answer them. Okay, but we're getting a little feedback. We'll answer those two questions. Okay. Great. Thanks for calling. Okay. Well, I think he's kind of straight to what you want to talk about anyway.
Yeah. Well, we do have some initiatives for 2012, but we must bear in mind cricket must be played on a cricket field.
Good point.
If we don't have a cricket field, despite all the initiatives you have, all the planning, all the monies, then cricket would not be able to play. Going to St. Thomas and St. Martin, which we did in previous time, is very, very expensive. And it still takes away the opportunity for the young fellas to keep fit and to have playing conditions. However, we're not going to sit and sleep and wait for things to happen. We have initiated the junior cricket program, which is the Kiddies Cricket, which is sponsored by Scotiabank, and grassroots cricket by Digicel. There are a number of schools in the BVI that are involved, junior schools. I can name a few in Tortola, St. George's Primary, Manasira, Joy Samuels Primary, Cedar School, Alexandra Maduro, Helen, Seven Days Adventist, Ivan Dawson. On Virgin God, you have Robinson O'Neill Primary, Brigado Frat School, and Cornerstone School. If we're going to push junior cricket, I think that would more affect or cause an effect where the government will at least look at an opportunity where young people are going to get involved.
Yeah, well, I'll just say one of the things that we need to understand here is that when we're talking about kids getting the opportunity to go overseas and to do things, cricket, with what Carl and them are doing with Dub, that is important. Cricket is also just as important. Let's just take this call and we'll come back to the point. Good evening, Sports Desk. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, this is a good topic to be on with the sport and the youth. But I just want to touch on something that is different than the youth part of it.
Okay.
The officiating, the umpiring.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's a committee, a body here that of umpires. I'm not sure if
Answer that.
Yeah, well, actually, the Vice President can answer it because they're actually in the process of forming. Daniel Singh is actually in the process of forming that now. He's just passed his level 3, and he's actually in the process of doing that right now as we speak. So it's a very good point.
Yeah, because I'm one who really interested in umpiring and stuff like that.
Okay, well, do us a favor. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I know that there are different exams that you have to participate in, and on the team. I don't know how the structure is set. I don't know if anybody's really involved in that area of it, really. But
okay,
you can go places umpiring, and I mean, get representative from Tortola, probably who can represent that Leeward Island level and stuff like that. Would be great.
Okay, the number you can call is 543-7487, 543-7847. I'll give it to you again, 543-7847. Or you can also call 340-8694. I'm going to give you those numbers again when you hang up, okay? I think we have other callers trying to get in, so thanks for your call, and stay call back if you have any more questions, all right?
Okay, cool.
The caller made a good point. On top of that, let me just let people know that umpiring is not just locally and regionally. A person can leave from right here in Tortola and become part of the ICC elite umpires squad. That means you travel around the world. That means we're talking about sports tourism in the BVI. Now the BVI gets promoted as an umpire from the BVI, umpiring in Australia, umpiring in New Zealand, umpiring in India, Sri Lanka, you name it. So there it is the potential of sports tourism in cricket in the BVI is astounding. Absolutely astounding.
Paul, you're touching on a topic that I want to bite on, but sports tourism is my thing. I've been advocating for sports tourism a long time, so I'm going to let that rest.
We need another Mr. Producer, we need another program. We need another hour tonight. So let me give the number again, sir. Daniel Singh would be 340-8694, or the Vice President, Ivor Fraser, 543-7487, 543-7847, 543-7487, or for Daniel Singh, 340-8694. Of course, those are both digital numbers.
But Paul, we have to make that business to get our phones, okay? I don't understand how digital is not giving us our phones yet.
Okay. Back to cricket.
If we could just, expand a little more on the kiddies cricket.
Sure.
Last year, 30 young men registered to play kiddies cricket. And there were a few young ladies. Right? I don't know the number, but it would have been about 4 or 5. So we had about 35 persons registered as youths playing at the HLSCC ground. One of the problems, unlike football, the Cricket Association don't have the big monies that come in.
Sure.
And one of the things is that parents would drop off their kids. I don't think in the BVI we've developed that culture yet, where parents are coming and staying with their kids.
Right.
It's like a babysitting.
But that's around the sports.
And we need to go away from that. You need parents' involvement if you want to see any sport grow.
I agree.
They must be there watching their kids, seeing their kids develop. Generally in any sports, development is not based on coach, on the facilities.
Right.
Development is impressing upon your parents and your parents encouraging you. Right?
No, you go ahead.
So as soon as, you know, you have 30 plus persons registered and 6 and 7 turning up on a weekly basis for a 2-hour session, that's just not enough. Right? You need more input coming from parents. And they have programs this year that has been initiated. One is they want an expansion program where other schools going to be involved. You have a workshop and an Easter Festival for primary and this primary school league. Also in 2012, there will be an opportunity for 1 or 2 participants to travel to one of the big playing nations where they, if people know, during the break where they have the little kiddies.
Right.
So we'll have 1 or 2 persons from the BVI having that opportunity.
Sports tourism?
Yeah. But, and Carl, that goes back to exactly the point that I was making, the fact that, you know, in the BVI, when we talk about sports tourism and kiddies cricket, it is huge. There are certain sports that are played in the BVI that if we focus on them, we can pretty much guarantee that those kids are going to go to the next level. The BVI is one of those. We can quite easily get somebody from the BVI on the West Indies side, very easily, because we are so close. In fact, it's a lot easier to get a child onto the West Indies board than it is to get them onto the NBA. It's easy to get them into college, but
this is a question I was about to ask you.
Let me just take this call. Hold that thought. Good evening, sports. Let's go right ahead. Very well, thank you. Great, thanks for calling. Yes, sir.
Can the Vice President of the BVI Cricket Association tell the general public how many official coach we have in the BVI, if there is any? Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Official coaches and cricket.
Well, we had, I can answer one which we had, don't we have any now?
We have brought, under the Sanford program, we were bringing coaches to the BVI. I don't think presently we have a professional coach in the BVI. Whatever, we have 3 persons who, our local coach,
Correct.
Mr. Semple.
Right.
What's his first name? Keith Semple. He represented the West Indies cricket team.
Right.
You have Charles.
Oh, you mean
left-handed Charles from.
Oh, you mean Raymond Charles?
Raymond Charles,
yes.
You know, a veteran cricketer.
Yes.
You get the support from.
Also, Lincoln Liebert. Actually, let me just say, probably, but you actually weren't involved then. But we actually had a coach come over from the Leewards who actually qualified. We had about 7 or 8 people who were actually qualified as official coaches for the BVI. Lincoln Liebert was one. Raymond Charles was one, Keith Semple, and there was Keith from St. Kitts.
Keith Atherton, he came in the kiddies.
Keith came here. We also had Mannix who came down and also worked with them.
And I think Charlie Jackson is also.
Well, Charlie wasn't during my time, so you'd have to tell me.
In this time, Charlie is
I don't know. Yeah.
Now, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Mr. Fraser, for cricket. What are the opportunities for a young person in cricket? I mean, where can he go? Can he get a scholarship for cricket?
Okay, Carl, that's a great question. Yes. Hold it. We're going to take a break to thank our sponsors. So stick and stay here. Listen to Sports Desk. I am Paul on the board, along with the main man, Carl Scotliffe, and I'm afraid of the Vice President of the BVI Cricket Association. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Hi, I am Tanisha Harrigan-Scott, and I am here to bring you some exciting news from Digicel. Now you can talk more and text more for only $15. A great new price point from Digicel, the bigger, better network. Have you heard? When you top up $15 or more, you get incredible deals with Digicel. Get 100 free minutes, unlimited SMS, and free weekends for 7 days to local Digicel numbers. Top up $15 again, and it will automatically be extended for another 7 days. For more information, drop by our store or visit our website at www.digicelbvi.com. Digicel terms and conditions apply.
For all your health, fitness, sports, and related apparel needs, visit Play to Win Sports Store on the 3rd floor of the Chevelle Building, right across from the Sunday Morning Well. We specialize in basketball, baseball, and softball, volleyball, soccer, track and field, sport fitness supplements, shoes, underwear by Fruit of the Loom, Hanes, t-shirts, and much more. Call us Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 494-2071 for your special orders on uniforms and equipment. And join us as we play to win, to win, to win, to win.
Welcome back to Sports Desk. I'm Paul on the ball along with Carl Dubs Catliff. He's the main man. He's lent me his seat today. Along we have the Vice President of the BVI Cricket Association, Mr. Ivor Fraser, who this evening is here to talk cricket and tell us a bit about what's happening regionally. When we left, Carl was asking a question. Carl, back to you.
Yes, my question was, like in all other sports, what are the opportunities of education in cricket as far as going out to study and then playing cricket at the same time? That was my question.
Okay, well, the West Indies Cricket Board have the Academy of Excellence, which is in Barbados. It's unlike the American sports such as basketball and softball and so forth. It's more of a developmental process at home. Right? As you develop through home and your cricket reach that far and they see you at the 15 and the 19 and see you have the potential, then you know that opportunity of getting into the academy in Barbados is.
So it's not so much more of an educating, but it's just more of the athletic part of it.
Yes, more of the athletic part of it, and you know I guess they groom because they have not been taking 16 years old and 17-year-olds who people are still in school. You see the persons who have already played on a 19 and probably 18, 19. Those are the persons that we're seeing. So to say that there's a program for persons at 15, 16 getting out of high school, it'd probably be a no-no.
What I would add to that, Carl, that there is an unspoken program. You see, the challenge that we're having here in the BVI is that presently cricket is not being played. When you go to a lot of the other places, you go somewhere the same size as us, like Nevis, it's a religion there, right? When you play cricket, it opens many doors for you. You can get into West Indies board want you, the West Indies the campus, or the West Indies campus. So in other words, then it is a lot easier for you to get where you want to go to, from work-wise, going into study to further education, because they know that you are a good cricketer. So in the West Indies, as long as you're a good cricketer, the chance of you getting into a University of West Indies or getting to college is much greater, and you're greatly respected because it is a way. The other point I want to make is that, you know, in modern day society, there are so many children now who are getting involved in crimes and what have you because they're just bored. Right? Cricket is one of the sports, as long as what you and Steve have been doing, I gotta commend you guys. It's one of the things that really pulls the kids together and gets them off the streets. Let me tell you something. One sport can't get all the kids off the street. The kids are gonna love basketball, the kids are gonna love softball, the kids are gonna love football, we call soccer, and the kids who will play cricket. Some of those kids who we have denied from playing cricket are gonna end up doing crime. Stabbing each other, shooting each other, what have you.
So you're basically saying that the reason that cricket is not up to par now is because of grounds one.
Yeah, the grounds. That's the main
thing.
The main thing is the grounds. Because right now the talk is just about one ground, which is in East End. What about looking at different options of different places to get
There's Virgin Gorda presently, Carl, which is going to be used for this season in March. March 1st when it opens up, they'll be playing in Virgin Gorda.
So there's no other side that you guys are looking at on Tortola that you figure that you could put a pitch?
Yeah, well, I think one of the callers who called in early spoke about land space. When I was in the committee about 4 years or 5 years ago, we did approach government in seeking other avenues. The horse track was a proposal, but then that was a no-no.
That's a different topic.
And we eventually saw because
would that have been big enough for what you guys wanted?
Yeah, but practically I don't think it would have been ideal for cricket. The next area that they did venture was Carrot Bay, that just next to Kapun Bay. That ground, I think government, I think it was Dr. Smith, the present premier, he did a lot of work in trying to get those lands, and it never materialized.
What's a normal size of a cricket area that Paul, you pick my difference, so that you would need in order for something?
It's fairly big, Carl, and it's funny that Ivers is mentioning these grounds, because 10 years ago I went with the Premier, with the Minister for Agriculture, along with the CEO for the West Indies Board, and looked at 6 different grounds in the BVI that we potentially could have used for cricket, which also included Parakeeta Bay, yes, the horse track, yes, Carrot Bay, a couple of others which let's not go into them tonight, but the phone's going to go crazy. But we had 6 grounds, Carl, so we knew, but we also knew that, well, we had a home at the time, so at least it wasn't desperate, but we didn't want to, we didn't want to long-term, depend on that ground for, in case what inevitably happened would happen. Mm-hmm. It has happened, and then the guys got Greenland, and then they were moved from Greenland. Right? So the point is that presently now there's nowhere where there's any flat space. You're talking about
Parakeeta Bay. They have.
I was just about to come to that. Parakeeta Bay, yes, but again, it has its politics. Every ground has its politics. One team said, no, this is a softball ground, but one of the fields you wouldn't believe was the old softball ground. The guys said, don't even think about that. The old softball ground we looked at. I'm telling you, I know. Listen, we've gone to the next topic. If I can take you into, we talk about grounds and looking at grounds, we look at some serious grounds, Initially, when it came down to the nuts and bolts, it was decided that track and field was going to be taken to Parakeeta Bay. It was confirmed to me, personally in a high place, that the track and field was going to go to Parakeeta Bay, and that cricket would stay at the A.O. Shirley grounds. As you well know, Carl, it was A.O. Shirley himself who dug up the land, the soil out of his own ground, right? When it was a swamp,
and keep patching it,
and patch it until it became a cricket ground. That's what it was, patched up so cricket could be played there.
Right, and cricket was played there
for a long time.
Logistics,
but it goes back to what you guys were saying. I mean, when you go to cricket, it was only the older folks playing cricket, and I think if had they done the homework then yes. We probably might have still been
in foresight, yes.
So now, if I wanted to play cricket now, I mean, if I wanted to get involved, how do one do that?
I could answer. Can I answer that?
No. We have a vice president. That's what I didn't see I saw those bowlers with a height. Yeah.
A name that comes to light is Mr. Neil Niles, right?
Yes, he started at a late age.
He started at a late age.
I actually started Neil.
Within 2 years, Neil Niles were playing for the BVI. Within 4 years, you were captain in the BVI team. And
he's the only local that's still playing.
Yes,
Can I explain to you how we got Neil Niles to play cricket? Neil was one of the guys, along with Eddie Foy, Big Eddie Foy,
some ex-guy that could
along with Eddie Foy, who both said they wanted nothing to do with cricket. Don't come to them and discuss cricket. And I said, listen, we have an overseas game going on in Antigua. Come and fly out and come watch the game. Eddie didn't come, but Neil Niles came. After Neil Niles came up, Neil Niles said to me, boy, I didn't realize cricket or anything like this. He said, can I try the game out? From there, he never stopped. The 1 year, Big Eddie Foy had a big matchup with the Pirates, right? Over the old recreation grounds. Throwing his back, he told him he's not coming back. And I said, well, Eddie, why don't come across to cricket? He said, because the week before he said to me, he'll get a bulldozer and dig up the pitch. so I used as an opportunity to say, listen, Eddie come across. Eddie came across, to make a long story short. That year, Eddie played for the whole season, wicket keeping.
Well, I'm just going to say that
wicket keeper.
Eddie is a very, very good wicket keeper, and I don't know where he learned his skill from. It's natural talent.
I saw the crossover from cricket guys going into softball and playing softball too.
You're talking 1966.
And they were very good at batting. Because everything that was dropping, those guys were hitting down the park.
But the Mercers, who are great softballs, were also great cricketers. The Dawsons, the Brathwaites, the O'Neills, all great sportsmen.
So now,
and the late Mr. Romney.
Mr. Fraser, you and Mr. Mohammed, you all got your work cut out for you, because, like I say, if you want to get this sport back up and running, I mean, we could do whatever we can to assist, but you guys, you still have a lot in front of you, man.
Yes, if we have the present government listening, which we hope they are, the Greenland field is the proposal right now. I think if you go ahead with the development with the ground, then there's going to be a natural propensity that cricket is going to start again. It was proven 2 years ago, the large turnout, the large crowd turnout, the Saturdays and Sundays that were filling the ground, and we're not speaking of only as expatriates or the Dung Island people. You had local people very much involved in the cricket, wanted to come out on Saturdays and Sundays. And as you said, earlier, sports, most people are multifaceted in sports. Nobody wants to really play one sport. The great Viv Richards could have made Antigua team as a footballer.
He did.
As a national footballer.
He did.
Right? It's just a choice that you make. I think it's Courtney Ambrose's mother who took him away from basketball and said, you need to play cricket.
But let me ask you, with a cricket pitch, no other sport can be played on that, right?
Not on the pitch.
Not on the pitch.
In the area, can I?
No, in the area, yes. I mean, in Antigua, they play the national football team plays on the cricket ground.
Okay, so it doesn't affect the surface, though?
No,
they just cover the surface.
Afterwards they'll treat it and deal with it,
Because I remember when we went to compete in Antigua that year, that was the cricket field.
It was a cricket field. That's correct. We ran on the cricket field. We did track on the cricket field. That's correct.
Do you think that still happens today? Because with the sliding in cricket now in the outfield, it's a little bad, right? So
Well, in big cricket grounds, yes, But talk about big cricket grounds. Let's talk a bit of regional cricket. And of course, the T20 has just finished. And this is the other aspect of cricket, that there's big money when we talk about sports tourism now. And there's money that we are presently losing in the British Virgin Islands, because just recently in Antigua and Barbados there was just concluded tournament of all the different islands in the Caribbean who were playing at the T20 tournament, and it was thrilling, it was exciting. Games are started. The 8 o'clock game, Carl, was finished by 10:30. People left from work, went home, had their dinner, came back.
Now, Paul, that statement that you make, I've never seen in cricket unless it was a one-day match. Because cricket could go on for days, isn't it?
That's right, but now the T20 is even shorter than the one day. So the one day used to last a whole day.
So add stipulations into it now?
Just 20 overs.
20 overs.
40 overs a team, that's half a day cricket.
So the game...
So is the first to 20?
No. Both sides are open to 20 overs.
20 overs, both sides.
So you're looking at four still. It's still the same.
Who scores the most?
Yes.
But in other words, you go to the game at 8 o'clock, and by 10:30, thereabouts, you're finished.
Be careful now with duck water sometimes.
That's the general thing, we're talking about. And
I guess that's a lot more exciting, watching it that way.
A lot more exciting, more money, more people. The West Indies board, the whole world has found that families are coming back, because it's not just in Tortola. The whole world was suffering from Test cricket, in that although real cricket fanatics love Test cricket, the average mother and wife and child didn't really care about who was a great cricketer, who could bat for 5 hours, who could bat for 5 days.
So that's what Test cricket was all about?
Yes, Test cricket was all about who could bat for 5 days. But T20 is who can bat for 10 and 15 minutes.
You have the Kieran Pollard, who would damage a devastator bowler, right? And that's what people are there to see. A man scoring 25 runs in an over, and that's why Kieran Pollard and Gale and Sehwag are these marketable players, or Warner. Right?
I mean, what kind of endorsements can you get out of cricket?
Oh gosh!
We have a lot of the young guys are all millionaires.
You have Digicel.
Of course, we still can't get a phone from you anyway. I'm hoping after the show we get a phone call.
You're listening to sports. I'm Paul. I'm changing the topic here. The number to call is 300-1949, or if you want to send us a text, we'd love to have your text, 300-1950. I'm here with the Vice President of the BVI Cricket Association, Mr. Ivor Fraser, and of course the main man, Carl Lubs-Catliffe, has kindly given me his seat tonight, and we're talking cricket. And of course we've just been talking about regional cricket, and we mentioned people like Chris Gale now. I mean, will Gale ever get back onto the Leeward Islands? I mean, the West Indies team?
I guess when we get rid of St. Hilaire.
Well, so in your estimation, Chris Gale will never get back onto the team unless there are some big changes in the administration.
My view on it, Gale is sitting on a mountain of wealth, right? And he is one of the most devastating and liked cricketers when it comes to 2020. He has made it clear that he likes playing 2020. West Indies have a policy where you have to play at your regional levels to participate. Come on, a man, he's been given $300,000 for 4 weeks tournament against a $65,000 a year contract, right? Then it's natural, right? Well, these fellas gonna go after the big money.
I was just gonna say 2 years ago, Gayle was the highest paid. Gayle got us on $1 million to play for about 10 matches.
Yeah.
Not only that, but Gayle was the number one. He had the rankings worldwide in 2011 in batting. The man is number one.
What surprises me is the places that you go to play cricket around the world. I mean, like I'm here watching right now. Yeah, I'm talking
Dubai.
Places like
Dubai,
Australia, Pakistan, India, and even when it was in India some days ago, I mean, a couple of years, about a year ago when we went to Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
We had to clear out for cricket to come in. And I said that was the most people ever filled the stadium.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only rival in sports where you travel a lot is athletics. I think it's only an athlete will probably go to many different countries.
Correct.
But if you're an international cricketer, you will actually, in your cricket career within 5 years, you would have toured all the cricketing nations in the world.
Now, Ivor, I know you just saw the T20 that recently came up. I want to get from what you've seen there, who do you think out of that crop that we just saw playing in that T20, who do you think is going to make the present West Indies side?
Well, against my opinion, I like the young opening batsman from Windward Islands, the guy Charles. We'll have to go.
You go ahead, I'll call the name. You think who they are and I'll call the name.
Simmons.
Okay,
that's
Lindell
Simmons.
Okay.
Bravo. And you're asking me for my 11.
Yeah, yes, your 11, Dwayne Bravo.
Dwayne Bravo.
Okay.
I would go for...
Well, stick with the Bravos.
I bring him in his right spot.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I'll go for Samuels, even though that he didn't have the best of it.
Marlon Samuels.
Kieran Pollard.
Kieran Pollard, of course.
The other Bravo.
Darren Bravo.
Yeah.
What about you? Haven't mentioned
the wicket keeper, the captain. He will be my captain.
Ramdin?
Ramdin will be my captain.
Okay, Ramdin is your captain.
Yeah.
So you're going to make Ramdin the captain. That's an interesting point, and that's actually a point on its own. And you can actually tell us who you would like to be your 11 for the upcoming West Indies season. Australia's going to be here soon. Who would you like to see on the West Indies side? You can send us a text, 300-1950, or give us a call and let us know on air, 300-1949. Go ahead. So we're on to Ramdin as the captain.
Yeah. Narayan. That's
Sunil Narayan, who is the new from Trinidad. Tremendous bowler.
That's how
and you know he throws the ball both ways and you can't read it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very impressive. Go ahead. Carl is surprised I know all the players. Go ahead.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I know this is your sport.
Yeah. It's one of my sports. I started in track.
Fidel, they like it a lot.
Fidel Edwards.
Fidel Edwards, yeah. How much we have?
Sounds like that's his people too. You got the name.
How much you have there?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You need 2 more.
I need 2 more.
You only have 1 opening bat. No, you have Charles.
I have 2 opening bats. I have two.
You have 3 who batting number 4. You forget Shiv? Come on.
No. I would not have Shiv in my
all right, go ahead.
As a legitimate all-rounder, right? You know, it's unfortunate that Sammy has been the talk of the tongue, right?
Right.
I would keep Sammy in my team for one main reason.
Okay.
Not the captain. He's not under any pressure and he delivers.
So you're going to keep Darren Sammy as captain or as a player?
As a player.
And what is his role on the team?
A bowler.
You're picking him as a bowler?
I'm picking him as a bowler.
Okay, not as a fieldsman or anything, as a bowler.
Yeah, as a bowler.
Okay, all right. So Darren Sammy as a bowler, you need 1 more.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll go for pace or I'll be forced to go for one for Mr.
Well, you have a lot of spinners that you're missing. There's Gary Mathurin you've made, there's Shane Shillingford who you missed.
Oh, the other person is Santoki.
You're going to Santoki. Santoki is the left-handed Jamaican. Santoki is, but of course, Pollard hit for 5 sixes the other day.
Yeah, but before that,
it was actually Anthony Martin, he hit for 5 sixes.
Yes,
only 3.
But he hit him for 3. He hit him 28 runs in the over.
He did. But we just had a text come in, and thanks for sending it. It says, good night, Mr. P, I guess that's me. Is Brent De Freitas in the BVI? I don't hear or see this guy. He can't he can't play the game, but I guess it means he can play the game, but I don't hear anyone saying or anything about him. So what do you think? The Freitas, go ahead, I won't steal the line.
In our last tournament, in the Liga Nagico 50 over tournament in St. Martin,
yes,
I was played about 2-3 months ago.
Right.
He was our leading bowler there, so he is playing cricket.
And he is here.
And well, I have not seen him for about a month or two.
Yes, I haven't either. But I'll tell you what. Actually, just before Christmas, he told me he was going home on holiday. Maybe he hasn't returned yet.
Yeah,
but let me tell you, Brent was one of my protégés, one of the guys that I brought through from young when he came from St. Vincent initially. This guy, we had earmarked to play for the West Indies. This guy is what you call raw speed. He's naturally fast. Of course, people will begin to call and tell me how disciplined he is, which he is.
But let me ask you guys a question. Does size matters in cricket?
No.
Height, does height
the little master. Sachin Tendulkar is a small guy. Hanif Mohammed was a small guy.
What kind of stats would they put up compared to a bigger guy?
No, same. Brian Lara is just a small 5'5", 5'4".
Yeah. But you just talk about Chris Gayle.
But Chris Gayle is 6'4", but Chris Gayle
wasn't he one of the guys that was here sometime?
Yes, Chris Gayle, Sarwan, and the same.
Yeah, and Ramil.
Yeah. So now, from just listening to what you guys are saying, if we had a team and we could bring folks like those in here, that's income for us, isn't it?
Well, we did. I brought in Courtney Walsh.
Yes, I remember that.
We also had the West Indies keeper at the time from Antigua, Ridley Jacobs. Yeah. So we have brought in top guys here. Since I wasn't here, I understand there was somebody came. I heard Desmond Haynes was here.
Yeah, Desmond Haynes, Viv Richards were here.
Viv has been here many times.
Yeah, but he
stayed at my house.
Oh, excellent.
I had to plug that one.
No, there was also a mention from one of the callers who were talking about Skeet.
Theodore Skeet. Yeah, somebody did call about Theodore Skeet.
What?
But I'll leave that to the vice president to deal with that.
They were mentioning something about he wasn't being mentioned, honored or something.
The vice president would have to, I'm not on the association now, so I can't answer that question. I'd have to.
That was a caller that came in.
Yeah,
so maybe the vice president can answer that.
But 2 or 3 years ago, I think Mr. Skeet did a lot for cricket in the British Virgin Islands. Got sick while he was on the board, suffered a stroke. I know initially there were some initiatives taken when Mr. Shirley was at the helm.
Right.
I don't know how much more has been done since.
Right.
Proposals have been made to have cricket named or a tournament named after him. But yet again, if you're not playing cricket, if you don't have grounds, right, you can
only be taught.
It can only be taught. Right? So at this point in time, when you have a ground, then you can really see that if any attention is being paid to him, because it's not money making that you can pay him from the.
Well, no. But I mean,
it's just the recognition that we can. The thoughts have been made.
That can be done for Theodore.
Yeah.
They're thinking about having a charity match on his behalf. And I think it's something that we could actually genuinely look at and see if we can work that out. But a few texts came in. We want to thank you for sending them. Keep them coming. The text is, of course, is 300-1949. This person here says we need to start bringing regional tournaments. Of course, we had one before, the equivalent of the Buster Cup.
But we have to have a feeling now to bring a tournament.
He says, I remember being a youth running around for the Buster Cup, which made a lot of money. So this person here wants to talk about, spoke about that. Again, let's very quickly just take a few more of the texts. I'm trying to get them. It says, Paul, we miss you as a cricket president. There's a very good president now.
It seems like you're advocating for that.
No. I was actually at the AGM, and I think I was very impressed with Sean. I'll say that. He says we need an association. Remember, you took the under-13s to Antigua to watch a cricket game. Of course, we've just mentioned that as well. In that same game was Neil Niles. That same trip, Neil Niles was actually attended that trip. Another comment here, as I just quickly go through them. Did you ever think about using the greenhouse on Virgin Gorda for cricket. Think of the possibility.
Playing indoors?
I'm going to leave that to the vice president to deal with. I'm not even going to touch on that one. And one last one here. He says the 4-day match with the Leewards and the Windwards brought much revenue to the BVI. Now the games have moved to St. Thomas. Very, very important point. Let me just comment on that very quickly. We not only had sewn up the equipment of the Buster Cup for the next 5 years, but we had also had a plan from the West Indies board that they had already guaranteed us that we would have practice matches for the World Cup here in the BVI.
Yeah, I had it in writing.
I heard about that. So the point is that we talk about sports tourism. Yes, I agree with the comment.
Back in the cricket used to be one of the sports that people would come in to watch anyways.
Ivor, we don't want to steal all the time. Tell us what else you want to talk about as we have you here.
The Lika Najiko 50 over tournament last year, the BVI did participate. That's the only cricket we really played. The performance was not admirable. We played 3 games and we lost all 3 games. Unfortunately, again, it was a lack of fitness for the first half of the game. We were doing well. We had teams at 35 overs, 120, and those teams are going on to score 250 plus, and that's unfortunate because you don't have the facilities to really to endure. It goes back to my point, unless we have a cricket ground, unless we get a support, general support from the cricket-loving persons in the BVI, and demand that all sports need to be played in the BVI. Everybody have their own preferences. You can't force sports on any individual. I'm not going to boast, but I was a good athlete at one time.
I can say the same.
I played a bit. I did a little something.
It's just that I was beaten by the better fellas.
I said the same.
I once was the national goalkeeper for the British Virgin Islands.
Okay. Yeah. We have something in common. We both goalkeep for the British Virgin Islands.
Yeah. So I played a little cricket. Not the best at it, but I enjoyed playing it. So you play all sports, right? I played basketball in the leagues here, and I learned to play basketball.
Yes, you did. I remember you trying to play basketball.
No. I actually remember him coming for the national team. I
remember you trying to play basketball.
I'll defend that. When I started to play the guns, I was competing with Ja Willie to be. So
there you go.
I came a long way, but injuries and
that was of course before the Honorable took over the guns, right?
I was a coach at one time,
Oh, you were coach?
Yes, I used to coach him.
All right.
He fired me in a game because
Okay. We're running out of time now. Not quite, but we're sort of getting to the end of it. So we want to make sure we don't miss anything. Again, if you want to make a quick call, send a quick text. Before you run out of time, it's 1949 for the text, 300-1950. 300-1950 for the text, 300-1949 to call. You're listening to Sports Desk along with Dubs Catliff and the Vice President of the BVI Cricket Association.
Also, Paul, what I want to do is send a shout out to all the sponsors who made this possible. Of course, Play to Win. If you guys need any sport and athletic gear or anything like that, Play to Win is a spot. We have Rotan Wholesale and Gatorade, which is a sponsor. I see you having the Gatorade today, Paul. And of course, Digicel, the bigger, better network. We're still waiting for our phones, but hopefully we'll have them for the next show, and then we'll be able to show them to you. But without those sponsors, this wouldn't be possible. Ivor, again, we'd like to thank you guys for making this possible. I know you had your elections. Sean, we're still waiting to see you. We got some words for you.
Right. We're not quite out of time yet, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't run out. Ivor, what else did you really wanted to talk about? We really want to give you some time. Actually, I think we have a caller coming on here now. There we are. We have a caller. Let's take the call. Good evening, Sports Desk. I'm Paul the Ball along with Carl Dubs Catliff, and we have Mr. Fraser here with us. Go right ahead, please. Hello.
Paul on the ball.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Calling to find out where the next cricket ground going to be made.
I guess we're trying to find out the same thing.
So you just anything else you want to know, or that's it?
I think that's it.
No, but the question before you go, Carla, do you have any suggestions where of another ground could be made?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Before you reach where groundworks in West End.
we actually looked at that area.
that was looked at.
We actually looked at that area as well. And yes, you're correct. That is an area, but it needed a lot of work. It also would have needed some filling in it. So there's a lot of expense on that. But you're absolutely correct. On the other side of the road as well, there was also plans to make a golf course over on that side of the road, and we also look at that side. So I could trust me.
A number of places being
everywhere. But the funny thing is that everywhere that you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, caller. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Yeah. I was just saying, everywhere that you guys looked at, we actually looked at as well.
So they're actually doing the same thing that you were
well, it's natural. Once you come to the Helm, the first thing you're going to do is look for a home.
Right.
Which is why I made the point that
it's the same situation. I think soccer said they had trying to find a place.
Yeah, but it's not so bad with soccer because soccer can actually share with track and field.
Right.
And also with
but soccer can share with cricket too.
Yeah. Once we have a home, they can share, but it's not the other way around. If we have a home, everybody can share with us.
Wait, when you say we, who are you talking about now?
Cricket is a cricket. I was just myself.
I'm just checking the shows
the natural self came in.
Okay, well that's the old Paul from years ago coming back. I kicked in there.
The natural self.
Back to the vice president. Okay, we'll call her. Good evening, sports desk. Yeah, go ahead, please. Caller, hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you just turn your radio down or your television? I think it's got to be television. We say radio. Your television down a bit.
Yes, Mr. Ball.
Yes. Good evening. Go right ahead, please.
Yes. I'm a cricket lover, and I love to see from the first ball to the last ball. Now I'm living in the Virgin Gorda in Ireland for the past 7 years, and I would just want to find out why could these people do this kind of a thing that they put down in South somewhere. Why didn't they build a cricket stadium down there instead? Was to have a good game down there and good revenue to bring in good revenue down there, and they put this thing down there that had no sense at all. Tell me?
Okay, right. Okay, what we'll do is we'll answer your question. We'll let you hang up and answer the question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling. Ivor, you want to take that? I can answer it, but you go ahead.
Because he's speaking about Virgin Gorda ground.
He's speaking about the Virgin Gorda ground, yes.
That was also a ground that was proposed for development. I don't know what the land issues were. The importance is that you need to develop these grounds. You need to develop these areas, and I think Virgin Gorda was ideal. Unfortunately, in 2010 when we ran the league up there, the support was not overwhelming as it normally was. And I believe because Virgin Gorda got into going to cricket in the evenings, they were playing wind ball cricket in the evenings. So when we brought the all-day 2020 cricket, the crowds weren't coming out. Right? We haven't given up. We're going to go back to Virgin Gorda again in the interim.
That kind of made an interesting point too. I mean, we're seeking for land in Tortola, and if Tortola don't have it, why not seeking other islands and just carry the sport?
Cricket is very central, you know. Cricket is very central, very capital.
Yeah.
You know? If you look around the world, cricket is always in a city area, right? You have more people going to come out and watch it in a central area than going across. You find the burden. Virgin Gardens have to come over here. You don't hear much of a complaint. But when the teams from over here have to go over, which is just the vice, you hear the complaint because people are very central to.
We have a text.
We had a text coming. We actually we suggested this already, I guess, but they're suggesting it again. They're saying the softball field in Seacoast Bay behind the back of the horse track. Of course, we mentioned that already. We both myself and I have been there.
Is that big enough?
Yeah.
That has not been used.
We were there with, like I said, with.
But you know that's a third district, so you know.
Well,
that's what third district.
It's family, so let's change the topic quick. We want to keep our job. Producer might take us seriously. Next week there's too many people. They don't see it.
I know.
So any final words? We are going to wrap up now, Mr. Vice President.
Yeah, well,
on behalf of the president or anyone else.
Yeah, well, first, on behalf of the president, you know, I'm glad to know that I could have come at the last minute speaking on his behalf, because I know he can do an excellent job. It's all because of unknown circumstances that came up tonight. My next point is that I'm going to appeal to the government of the day to pay some consideration into cricket. It's now being done globally. That cricket is being played all around the Caribbean, right? Grounds are being developed, and we are just asking here in the BVI for that opportunity that the young people can get something, can have an alternative, right? This afternoon I was out doing a gang presentation at a PTA, and that's one of the things that we are questioning. The young people have alternatives. We are not giving them the alternatives. And secondly, we're asking the general community to, just hold favor with us, hope that the government seek and see after our requests, because we all want to play cricket, whether you're local, whether you're an expatriate living in the BVI. Here is your home. This is your sport. I know they all navigate to the TV. They're asking scores, that I worked with the minister, so I know.
Right. I will speak next, as I am the deputy. Leave Carl to finish off. But what I'll do is I'll finish off with the text, because the text came in, so I'll just read that text and I'll give them the limelight. And what they're saying is, what seems to be the problem building a ground or finding one? Because they're asking a question. Well, the problem with building a ground is the cost. The problem with finding a ground is that we have over a number of years sought many grounds, and there's always a conflict with another sport of some sort, and so therefore it's a matter of finding a compromise, find something that will work. And also we have to alert the youngsters, the younger generation, of the importance of cricket as a region, so that people see it as being more part of them rather than seeing it as being something for people from down the islands or something like that, which is it's a myth and totally untrue. But sometimes, I know I grew up with things that my parents told me or somebody told me, and maybe you got older and it wasn't quite, there's a twist to it, what I mean? So, that's what's happened now, and you can't take it personal. People just don't understand that cricket, is part of the BVI, and that's the reality. So I'm going to end on that, and I'm going to pass over to the main.
Before you take him, it seems that my 11 seems to be one of these endorsed by the entire.
Your 11? You want to hear that? Okay, let me read your 11 for you. So this is Ira Fraser's 11. I'll quickly give it to you. Opening bat from St. Lucia is Charles Lindner Simmons from Trinidad. Also opening bat with him. Along with him, he wants Dwayne. Well, number 3, I guess he wants Darren Bravo and Marlon Samuels at 4. Kieran Pollard, the hard hitter, at 6. Behind him, also from Trinidad, is Dennis Ramdin, the wicket keeper. At number 8, he's bringing in his first bowler, with his son in Narayan of Trinidad. Then, along with him, is Fidel Edwards, the heavy pacer, and his big backbone guy from St. Lucia, the captain, Darren Sammy.
Santoki.
And I missed one, Santoki from Jamaica. He's picked 2 Jamaicans on his side, very kind. No Guyanese on his side, and he is originally from Guyana. I'm very disappointed, but I'll pass it over to Carl.
Well, what I would like to add is I know how difficult it is in trying to get funding and stuff for sports and stuff like that, because we have a difficulty in areas. But what I found out we do is we try to go out and try to make things happen. And I feel if every sport or every association try to do the same thing, instead of just relying on government to just hand them the keys, if you try to go out and try to start the ball rolling and then say, listen, I've got to this point, you come and match it. I think things will be a lot easier on the sports and a lot easier on us. So I know right now we're in a financial struggle. Everybody's in a financial struggle. I'm hoping that something will come that we could all work together and overlive this because it's affecting all of us.
Sure.
And like I say, I mean, if our government is listening, and I know they are, I think that they're going to be venturing in the area of sports tourism at some point in time, because they can see the different areas that we're covering right now in sports, and they see the effect that it's having. I mean, like I just read out the list. I have guys and girls in all parts of the U.S., even in France, and I even had Cleon who was in Morocco at one time. You know what I'm saying? So if they understood what's really going on, and I think they are, we're gonna be seeing some changes in a hopeful future. Yes. So, but like I said, try to get the ball rolling. There's a lot of cricket fanatics try to pool in on them, like Paul. You can start with him, and guys raise some funds, and let the government match it, or let sponsors, companies around match it. So.
Okay, Mrs. Catliff, I noticed you're not wrapping up, so I'm going to wrap up here.
Please do.
The final text came in here. I'm going to wrap up on this. They said that why don't we look back to the past, similar to what was just being said, and go back to those old guys of the day who played cricket, who are still alive, and get them to help us to promote cricket for the youngsters. Very, very good idea. I think we look into that and do just that. So we really appreciate your calls, your texts. We want to thank our sponsors, Play to Win, Rotom Wholesale for Gatorade, and of course Digicel, who Carl always so loves and talks about. We want to thank all our sponsors. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. Until next week, good sports, and as Pico would say, I'm Paul the Ball. Good night.